Jenny Garone, who is the Director of Marketing and Identity for Celebration Cinemas. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me. Well, you're a step ahead of me. I haven't seen the movie yet, so what did you think?
You know what? I feel very lucky because most of the time when Ron Van Timmeren is with us, he's seen the movie before I do. And so we get here on Friday mornings, and I say, tell me all about it. You've already seen it. So in this case, for whatever reason, it opened on a Thursday last night. Do you know why you would do that?
You know, it was a weird week. Typically we have, Friday releases, and occasionally with those they'll have like an 8 o'clock or a 10 o'clock the night before show. This week we had Vacation open Tuesday night, Mission Impossible open Thursday night, and then next Wednesday night we have Shaun the Sheep opening. So it's just a weird month for movie releases.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, here's what I'll tell you. I think they borrowed a little from the James Bond 007 series, which, by the way, there was a trailer for the new 007 movie that, showed before the movie started, Spectre. But they start the Mission Impossible Rogue Nation right with action, immediately. It starts with immediate action, and it's action that you've seen in the trailer. Yeah. And so that's fun because you get your adrenaline going right away. And
how about the scenes where he's hanging off the side of the plane? Because as most people know by now, that was a real stunt. Tom Cruise did it himself. He actually was hanging on the side of that plane as it was flying.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, man, what a crazy man. I mean,
he really is. And, the poor person who had to fly the plane and, was responsible for his life, I can't imagine the pressure that would have been.
So obviously he was attached somehow because that's the scene they open the movie with. You get to see that one right away.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty intense. You think about, that would be scary, but, I mean, he had to put, special protective lenses in his eyes to protect him from the wind. And, of course, he's attached with a harness and everything. But I think they shot that scene 6 or 7 times to make sure to get it right. And that was all on Tom Cruise. He kept saying, I want to do it again. I want to do it again.
Oh, well, my gosh.
In addition to that, all of the driving scenes, the stunts there he did, and the ones where Simon Pegg was driving, he did his own stuff for that, too.
I didn't know that. And when he slips off the plane and falls and dies in the first 2 minutes, that was a big shocker. I didn't expect that. Maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe.
Maybe not.
And you know what's interesting, too, that he does all his stunts because he's getting up there in the years. You can see it just a little bit,
Yeah.
But the other thing is there are some really dazzling images, some high-tech stunts and things like that. And when you watch movies now, it's harder to wow the audience, it seems to me.
We've become a little desensitized with everything, the CGI over the years and the special effects over the years. Yeah, so it is nice when we see something that does kind of take us by surprise and wow us.
You've got to go a long way and it's just amazing. So if you like that, and Alec Baldwin is in there if you like him. He's playing, the head of the CIA or the IMF or whatever it is. And so there's a little bit of, I don't know, everything he does now seems funny to me because even though he's not supposed to be funny, but ever since he did 30 Rock, he gets a lot of those sort of administrative roles like that. But there it is, Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, and there are lots of car chases, lots of international venues, and some humor too, for sure.
Yeah, and you saw it at Studio C, so did you kick back in one of those recliners and have our staff wait on you?
Naturally.
Serve you a drink or two? Nice. Yeah. That is the way to do it.
I always Grace was the lady who looked after me yesterday. She was very friendly. She's been working there 3 months, and she said she thinks that it's such a team feeling there. She's very happy to be there. So if you happen to talk to Grace, tell her thank you so much for yesterday. That was awfully nice of her.
Will do.
And maybe you send her on vacation, or send her to see the movie Vacation, because that's out now, too.
Critics aren't loving this movie, but it's not a critic's movie. It's, rude humor and, kind of sophomore-ish. But you've got Christina Applegate, Ed Helms, Chris Hemsworth. It's not a remake of the original Vacation. It's sort of a sequel. Rusty Griswold wants to take his own family on a road trip to Wally World. So, I personally think the 2 young sons of Ed Helms and Christina Applegate steal the show in the movie. They are hilarious.
My dad wants to see that movie. So that'll tell you, he's nearly 70 or whatever, and that's the movie he wants to see this weekend. So it'll tell you. You get surprised sometimes by the demographics.
Definitely.
Of course, that would have been a big movie. That original Vacation movie was probably 20 years ago or something.
I think it was closer to 30.
Oh, where's it all going?
I know. That's how I feel, too.
Okay, and Shaun the Sheep, that's out next week,
Yep.
next Thursday, Big Loud and Live 12, and so forth. But for Mission Impossible, I would think would be number one after the weekend, right?
I think so. You know, Ant-Man's been hanging out in that number one spot for a couple weeks now, but I think Mission's going to be the movie that finally bumps it back to 2. Pixels, Minions, Trainwreck, and Southpaw rounded out the top 5 from last weekend.
When Ron Van Timmeren likes an actress and he thinks she's attractive,
man.
he makes a certain purring sound. You've heard him maybe do that, okay?
I have, once or twice,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what it is. Now, what would it be for you? Let's say you're looking at the screen and you see Jeremy Renner or somebody like that that you think's attractive. What sound would you make?
You know, I would probably channel my inner Ron and make close to the same noise. I'm going to channel, think about Chris Hemsworth and go, ooh, probably something closer to that.
Whoa. Could you do that again?
Ooh.
All right. Jenny, Ron Van Timmeren closes out by saying,
See you at the movies.
See you at the movies, too. Friday's so much better now, isn't it?